So we're coming to that time of year again when we are whipping out our cameras, we're taking as many photos as we can to create as many memories as we can. And often that leaves us with a trove of images that we need to do something with, either get rid of or wheedle out the good ones so that we can then do something with those, and then we're either putting them on our social media accounts, or we're making little books out of them, or we're sharing them with family members. And in doing all that camera work, in taking all those photos and creating all those memories, that then leads you into an afternoon of sort of wheedling through and editing those photos. So I thought what would be a great idea is to just show you how to add a little bit of drama into your images. So you've seen the thumbnail, you know what the image looks like. What we're going to do is we're looking to add a little bit of drama to those black and white images, just to give them that little bit of artsy look. And it's a really simple technique used in Photoshop that allows you to just add that tiny bit of dramatic effect to your black and white images. So let's dive into Photoshop now and let's have a look and see how we go about doing that. So we're into Photoshop and we've got our image open already and we're ready to go. We're ready and raring. It's just a straight image taken out of the camera. Bearing in mind, my image was a raw image, so your mileage may vary depending on whether you're using a JPEG or whatever. But obviously I've got a raw image that's got a lot more data to manipulate and so on and so forth. It was taken on a black background. That wasn't intentional. It was literally, I'm just in the studio and I took this photo, and the background behind me, as you've seen on the video, is black. So it was just, that's where I've taken it. You can use that image everywhere, anywhere else. You can use images with backgrounds on and so on and so forth to try and recreate this effect, or get a bit more drama into your image. Although obviously artsy type images are going to work better from the get-go, because it means you've got less to do. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to come up to image and we're going to click on that, and then we're going to scroll down here to where it says calculations. I'm going to click calculations. Now that is immediately going to change your image to a black and white image, and it's going to give you this pop-up box, and this pop-up box is basically the adjustments we're going to make in order to get our image to look like we want it to look like. So what we've got here, we've got source image and we've got source image again, so you've got two of those and you can change and interact with those. So you've got background layer, and so on and so forth. But what we can do is we can change the outgoing channels. So we can say let's go with red, and let's have a look and see what red and red looks like. Red and green, and you can see as I'm clicking on these, it's making ever so slight changes to those images. Now you just pick one of these that you think looks nice, you think looks like it's the most dramatic, and you go from there. And essentially you can just switch and swatch these around until you want to. So blue and blue, as you can see, blue and green, blue and red, blue and grey, and you can see that what we're looking for is drama. So for instance, less of this being shown, we want it to look a little bit more dramatic. And grey and one of them seems to be the thing that is adding the most drama. So grey and red is quite good. Grey and blue I think grey and blue adds a little bit more contrast, so you're getting a little bit more sort of clarity almost, or it feels like there's more clarity around this hair and what have you. And then obviously what we can do then is go to the blending modes, and we can start going through and having a look at how we're going to blend these two sources together. So you're basically altering two of the image over top of each other within this whole Photoshop section called calculations. So we can go to darken and then multiply, multiply is quite a good one. Burn, color burn, not so good. Linear burn, dark color is actually good, but it's too bright for what we're looking for. Lighten again is basically the same. Screen is even lighter. Color dodge, that's just going to give us a bit too much blown out. It looks like we haven't sort of set the exposure correctly. So we'll just keep going through until we find one that we like. For me, I think probably going to be either overlay or multiply. Let's have a look. So we'll go to multiply, have a look at the hairline. This is where we're looking basically. We're just looking at this hair here, just to sort of give us an indication of what we're getting. There's not much between them, I would say. I think overlay has got a slightly brighter, so overlay slightly brighter here around the eye and the nose, so we'll go with that. I think I quite like the fact that it's slightly brighter there and it's slightly brighter on the ear. So what we'll do is, now we've done that, we've got overlay, you can mess with the opacity. I'm going to leave mine at 100% because I just want it to be 100% image. I don't want any opaqueness showing through, or to reduce it back so it's got like a nice mist across it. I'm not bothered about that. I'm not masking anything. What I am going to do is I'm going to leave it set at new channel, and the reason for that is because we need it to be a channel over here, and I'm just going to click OK. And then you can see it's gone red, and if I click on channels, you see there's another channel actually there, an alpha channel. So you've got RGB, red, green, blue, and alpha. So with alpha clicked and selected, so we've not got blue selected, we've got alpha selected. So as you can see, you can got green, you can select red, you can select RGB, which is our original image. What we're going to do is select alpha. We're going to select Control and A, and then Control and C. We're going to come to layers. We're going to create a new layer, and we'll select Control and V, and that's going to drag our image straight on there. Now from that point on, we can then start to adjust this slightly if we want to. So what we could do is we could come down to the files. I'll tell you what, let's not do that. Let's just delete that. We can come down to the adjustment layers. Sorry, I couldn't get that word out for a second. Come down to the adjustment layers, and then we can go to say something like a curves layer, and that brings up the curves here, and from that point on we can then adjust it, and we can either bring the lightness down so we've got a little bit more darkness coming in across this area here, just by bringing it down to the sort of the upper fourth there. And then what we can also do is we could maybe bring the blacks in slightly, or we could take the blacks out slightly, and that gives us that sort of faded, washed out film look. So it's been taken on film rather than on a digital camera. Or we could bring the blacks in even more, and we could make it look even more sort of artistic and dramatic by having that image darkened around the edges there. And that essentially is how we sort of add a little bit more drama to an image. And it's not really taking that long to do, and it's not really taking that much effort. It's just using Photoshop to sort of enhance the image that you've already got. So as you can see, it does add that little bit of drama to your image. It doesn't necessarily need to be on a dark background, but your composure obviously does play a part in how your image is finally presented. I hope it was useful to you. I hope you enjoy your holidays, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!